Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. I didn't upload yesterday. I had such bad neck and back pain that I couldn't even really sit up in this chair because I had played golf on Sunday, and I don't know if it was the allergies or whatever. I was all stuffed up. My back hurt, my neck hurt. It hurt to sleep. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it actually hurt me to try and lay down and go to bed. So I didn't make a video yesterday, but I definitely wanted to make one today. And I want to talk about the Orlando Magic because they're a team that I feel like people are maybe a little bit too high on. And the reason I say that is because obviously last season for them was, I'm going to say it was a bit of an overachievement. And the reason I say it's a bit of an overachievement is because once I get done going over some of these things, maybe you'll understand, but that's not to take away from anything Jamal Mosley did with this team. Paolo Banchero turned into a star this past season. I think we can say that. Franz Wagner inked himself a huge contract extension this offseason. While I don't think he's worth what they paid him, I understand why they did it. He needs to get better at shooting threes. Like Franz Wagner, I to be honest, I think he's going to get better at it. It's not a matter of really if he gets better at shooting threes, it's a matter of when he gets better at shooting at threes, especially with the amount of money they paid him. If he doesn't get better at shooting threes, then they're probably going to trade him for something. But they did try to address some of the issues that this team had. Jalen Suggs was impressive this past season, but the problem with this team is they were very good defensively. They were the number 2 defensive rated team in the NBA. They were very good defensively. Arguably the best team in the league on defense. However, their shooting woes is what hurt them a lot. They were 30th in three-pointers attempted, 29th in three-pointers made, and 24th in three-point percentage. And in a league that likes shooting three-pointers, that's not a good statistic. That's not good. And I understand why they went after Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He addresses those issues. He's a good defensive player, and he shoots threes. But I find it hard to believe that this team is going to find themselves with a top 5 playoff seed this upcoming year. And the reason I say that is because, A, because of their shooting woes, B, because of how inexperienced they are and how young of a team they are, and 3, last year they had the second, I think it was out of 30 teams, their strength of schedule was ranked 28th out of 30 teams. They had one of the easiest schedules in the NBA last year. And when you look around the league, Philadelphia got better, the Knicks got better, Memphis is not going to be the fucking dumpster fire that they were last year, Dallas got better. Even some of the teams that a lot of people thought were going to get worse, even Golden State still remains to be seen what they're going to be. Obviously, Klay Thompson is a solid player, but they did pick up Buddy Hield. Jonathan Kuminga is still a good player. And some of the teams that got worse, it's kind of like they were teams that were already not that great. You look at a team like Chicago, right? Chicago's a team that it's they lost DeMar DeRozan, right? They lost arguably their best player in DeMar DeRozan, and he now plays for the Sacramento Kings. You look at a team like San Antonio. They added Chris Paul. They added Harrison Barnes. Devin Vassell is going to have another year. Victor Wembanyama was second in Defensive Player of the Year rankings last year, and he won Rookie of the Year. So even some of the bad teams that they're going to be playing against either are getting better, or, the bad teams that got worse were teams that were already bad. The Atlanta Hawks lost DeJounte Murray, and he ended up going to the Pelicans. That's a situation where Atlanta got worse and the Pelicans got better. Yes, within their own conference, the Orlando Magic are probably going to be either remain the same or drop a spot or two in the playoff seeding. But this is a team that I'm hesitant to say will be a top 5 seed in the East. And the reason I say that is because this is a team that their second highest paid player is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And while Paolo Banchero is very good, Paolo Banchero is still got a very long way to go learning-wise. Franz Wagner still couldn't hit water if he was dropped into a fucking lake from three-point land. That front court is still kind of a mess. It's like it seems like they don't know what's going on in that front court, whether it's, Goga Batadze, Wendell Carter Jr. This is a team I think really needs like a bona fide center. Like they need to find somebody to really solidify that center position. This is a team that I think does well at shooting, how do I say this? They do well with the shots that they get inside the arc. They were 12th in 2-point percentage. However, this is a team that takes like the least amount of shots in the league as well. If you go to Orlando and you go to last season and you look at their 2-point attempts, okay, this is a team that, or just field goal attempts as a whole, they were dead last in field goal attempts last year on offense. Like, this is a team that doesn't even really shoot the ball a whole fucking lot compared to everybody else. So 2-point percentage was 12th in the league, and 2-point attempts was 15th in the entire league. But it's just the idea. This is a team where it's like they don't have a LeBron James, they don't have a Giannis, they don't have a Joel Embiid. They're really, really hoping that these young guys develop. And you know what? That's really where this team should be, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know why people were saying adding Paul George to this team makes them like a legitimate contender. I don't see how. I'm sorry. To me, that was like a fucking bonehead take. I've heard people say that. Like, even I've heard other commentators say that. Like, oh, if the Magic would have gotten Paul George, they'd be a championship team. In what fucking world? And what world was Orlando beating Boston? You know what I'm saying? Or even like New York is a decent team. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reason, I feel like teams go on these little runs. And as a Pacers fan, I understand this because we went to the Eastern Conference Finals this past year, and now Pacers fans are like, "Oh, we're going back." I'm like, I don't think so. But it's just the idea, like, teams go on these little bursts and people seem to think it's going to last. But when you pull back the curtain on it and you look at what really happened, and, part of what I do is being a realist, Orlando is probably going to be a first round, second round exit team, just like the Indiana Pacers, okay? The Indiana Pacers are another team that's going to be probably a first, second round exit team. And the reason for that is because the league has gotten better. And these are two teams that didn't make really any major significant changes in the offseason other than, okay, the Pacers added who? James Wiseman? And the Orlando Magic added Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Like, Pope's a good player, but he's not a franchise-altering player unless you're a championship team. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to start. Like, KCP is going to start. With the amount of money they paid him, he's going to start, as he probably should. But it's just the idea. Orlando was... I was going to say a victim of circumstance this past year. They had a very easy schedule. They were able to get away with being a bad shooting team because of how good their defense was and had a decent seeding. But now that Philadelphia has Paul George, and you look at Memphis is getting back Ja Morant. Sacramento now has DeMar DeRozan. Chicago is still a dumpster fire and will continue to be a dumpster fire since they lost DeRozan. You look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans acquired DeJounte Murray. Dallas got a lot better. So, like, some of the, New York got a lot better. There's a lot of teams that, yes, even though some guys left other teams, the teams you had to play before got even better. So, it's just like, you can't be one of these teams where everybody around you either gets better or, not even incrementally better, but, like for example, I can say that the Knicks and the Sixers got incrementally better by the talent that they added. But you can't be a team in a conference like that and not make any more significant additions other than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and expect to get the same result. You just can't, okay? Especially when they're in your conference. So, I don't know, man. Like, yes, there's certain teams that they should be able to beat. Charlotte is a team that I find very interesting because they did bring back Miles Bridges. And LaMelo Ball is going to wear ankle braces this upcoming year, which he absolutely needs. Steph Curry, I don't know if people know this, but Steph Curry was a guy when he entered the league he was constantly rolling his ankles all the time. And then he, started wearing ankle braces and ankle weights and stuff like that. Now he wears them all the time, and suddenly that issue went away. So that's what LaMelo Ball is hoping to achieve this upcoming year. And if LaMelo Ball can achieve that, where, the ankle braces help him and, maybe even ankle weights, this could change the trajectory of LaMelo Ball's career from just being a guy who's really good who's injured all the time to a guy who's a legitimate, maybe MVP caliber player one day. LaMelo Ball, when he plays, is a damn good basketball player. So, you're going to maybe get some more LaMelo Ball this year than you did last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things I'm talking about. Like, even though these are incremental changes, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Orlando's going to have maybe more Jonathan Isaac this year than they did last year. I don't know. How many games did Jonathan Isaac play last year? Because Jonathan Isaac's a guy that is like always injured. I'm very curious. How many games did he play this past year? Yeah, 58 games. So maybe you get 65 or 70 games out of Jonathan Isaac since you extended. He's a guy that I'm like, that's the other thing I don't like about Orlando. A lot of their contracts scare me a little bit. Like I understand they extended KCP then they extended Franz Wagner and they extended Jonathan Isaac. Isaac is, I think the Franz Wagner one will work out, but Isaac is risky. You know what I'm saying? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, good player, but, you paid him what he's worth, but at the same time, it's kind of like, is he really worth the amount of salary you dumped into him just to kind of remain the same team? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to see what's going to become. Like, if Jonathan Isaac can be the guy that we think he could have been, in college when he came into the NBA, if Jonathan Isaac can be the guy that we were all hoping he was when he came out of college, along with Paolo Banchero, and if Franz Wagner can get better at shooting threes, this is a team that maybe has a chance. But the thing is, like I said, they had a very easy schedule last year, and you're going into a season where a lot of the people around you got better, and you didn't do a whole hell of a lot to get better. You brought back Gary Harris, you know what I'm saying? You brought in Kojo, Corey Joseph. They're good vets, but like I said, even San Antonio added CP3 and Harrison Barnes, and they're going to bring back Devin Vassell, who is, I think, a great player. And Wemby, you're getting another year of Wemby and another year of Keldon Johnson. A lot of the teams around you, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, these teams are not in your conference, but at the end of the day, they're still teams you have to play against. And when I look at Orlando compared to a lot of these other teams, I'm like, even though Paolo Banchero is very good, I'm like, is he Giannis? Is he LeBron? Is he Anthony Davis? Is he is he Steph Curry? No. So that's where my curiosity about Orlando comes from. It's like, okay, like, how well are they gonna play when, they don't have the second easiest schedule in the NBA or the third easiest schedule in the NBA? I'm very curious. Did they release their strength? No, I haven't seen. Oh, okay. I'm just curious. No, they didn't release the schedule yet. But it's just the idea. This is a team that, depending on what their schedule looks like and stuff like that, they're just not a team that I think, yes, they had a good year last year, but I don't think they're going to meet that same success level this upcoming year unless they make a trade for somebody who will help them offensively. It's kind of shocking to say, but a guy like Anthony Simons or a guy like D'Angelo Russell, a guy like that could maybe help this team a little bit. Get them another like bona fide scoring option that isn't somebody who's still trying to develop and learn how to get to their spots in the game. Like it would have been nice if they could have gotten a vet like DeMar DeRozan or a guy like Paul George as well. Obviously, Paul George was not a guy that was like really. I don't know how much Paul George is really in the cards for them. But this is a team, it's like, yes, they're young, they're developing, but I don't think they're going to have the same type of success this upcoming year that they had last year. I don't. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just the idea. I feel like they had things like maybe a little bit too good last year, as like things were easier this past season than I think they're going to be this upcoming season, and that's why I hold that opinion. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I like, helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.